Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you everybody for taking the time on this beautiful Friday spring morning to have a you know what I believe is a very valuable dialogue on alternative medicine. And both forms of medicine that we're going to talk about today is going to be, very, very interesting and very valuable for the community. So before we dive in, let's start with very quick introductions, and then we're going to get into the meat of the matter. So I'll go first, and then Anu and Kunita. So I am Madhvi Velamkonda. My background, I do have a bachelor's in Ayurvedic medicine, so I've completed a BMS from India. However, my career pivoted, since then, and I have been in the regulatory affairs industry in medtech for quite some time, in the US. But I've always kept up my passion for Ayurveda and always want to do something for the community, even if it is just building awareness around Ayurveda and alternative medicine. I'm a very big fan of homeopathy as well because I myself used homeopathy when I was a kid, and it is an excellent form of treatment for multiple different things. So very fascinated by alternative medicine and how holistic it is and how it actually tackles any disease from the core. So with that, I have my esteemed guests today are Dr. Anu and Dr. Kunita.
Namaste.
Dr. Anu is our Ayurvedic Vaidya, and Dr. Kunita is our homeopathic physician. So excited to have you both together. It's a pleasure. The pleasure is mine to really have both of you together and the ability for us to talk both systems, at least briefly, just to start getting introduced to the topics, right? Anu, why don't you go ahead, do a quick introduction? We'll get into the topic after that. Anu,
Yes.
Kunita.
So my full name is Annapurni. You all can refer to me as Anu. That's fine. I finished my BAMS, that is Bachelor of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery, from the Mumbai University. And after that, I did my postdoctoral master's in Ayurvedic Internal Medicine, also from Mumbai University. Then I started my independent practice in the suburbs of outskirts of Bombay. And also, after marriage, I served as a faculty member in teaching Ayurvedic gynecology in Dharma Ayurveda College in Chennai. And this city was Sri Perumbudur. After migrating to the US in 2000, I joined the faculty with California College of Ayurveda, which is founded by Dr. Mark Halpern. And I also started my independent practice here in California as well, in San Jose. Now I'm also a faculty member in Saybrook University. I'm an Ayurvedic professor teaching in mind-body medicine program. And this is a college of integrative medicine and health sciences, where we do the whole body medical systems in Ayurveda. So it has been a fascinating journey for me, right from my graduation, moving to Chennai, and then moving to US. Throughout my entire journey, the passion has not dwindled. The passion still continues. And yeah, exactly as Madhavi was saying, even Ayurveda is my passion as a practitioner, as an educator, and also for my personal life. Practicing Ayurveda myself is a very, very important goal for my life. As I said, it's very challenging to be on this journey because it requires a lot of mental and physical discipline. And I continuously strive and persevere to do that. Thank you so much for inviting me to this panel.
Yeah, wonderful. And the story about how Anu and I met will be saved for another day. But it's
Yes.
great to have you, Anu. Thank you. Dr. Kunita.
Yeah, hi everybody, and thank you for having me on this call, Madhvi, and taking the initiative to put this together. It's really nice to get to know Anu through you, and I feel blessed that I'm making networks that include you, esteemed people with full of passion for alternative medicine. As an introduction, hi everyone, I'm Dr. Quinita Fernandez. I do come from Bombay City as well in India. I finished my bachelor's in homeopathic medicine and surgery from Chanda Ben Mohan Bhai Patel Homeopathic College, affiliated with Mumbai Devi Hospital in Mumbai. And the university would be the state university, that is Maharashtra University of Health Sciences. that I graduated from, following which I soon went into practice and had my clinical practice in homeopathy for about 7 years in India. The same time, I assisted pioneers of homeopathy as Dr. Sankran. Some of you may know him, or almost the whole world knows Dr. Sankran, Dr. Praful Vijekar, and then Dr. Prabhakar Devadiga. They gave me the inspiration, the aspiration, and even the passion to continue homeopathy wherever I'm in the world. And yes, when I migrated to the US in 2011, I started understanding which states allow homeopathy in the US. Is there a state that would that would accept my Indian licenses and allow me to practice? I then went on to meet several homeopaths. In Minnesota at the time, and I also completed my certification in homeopathy from Council of Homeopathy out here. So the CCH certification from CHC that you will see. Again, it's not required for homeopaths, but it's a good to have. I mentor many homeopaths coming to the US as to their next step and what they're looking to achieve as they set up their practice here. Besides that, I did go ahead and do my certification patient safety. But most recently, and I'm very proud I could go through it, I finished my physician's executive MBA from University of Tennessee Haslam School of Business. Well, those were my kind of credentials, because I do believe that people need to know what professional homeopaths are and what are their credentials in today's world, so that you go to a professional homeopath or professional Ayurvedic practitioners here in the United States. I recently launched a virtual practice platform, which is pretty much, it provides personalized holistic consultations. It is a platform not only for patients for acute and chronic conditions, but if you're seeking to buy homeopathic medicines, but most importantly, it's a platform for most of the homeopaths to get together and practice their passion, give them an opportunity which otherwise they would not have had, because of lack of finances or the locations where they are, or they simply don't know what to do. So we have started this, just launched this new clinic. Again, I would say it's more from a business perspective. So if homeopaths, you are listening and you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. And if you are seeking homeopathy, this would be one place 24/7 that you can come to and quench your thirst for homeopathy, or even your consultations for homeopathy. We'll talk more about it as we get into it. So again, thank you for having me here, and back to you, Madhvi.
Wonderful. I just want to take one moment for those of the younger generation listening. Just first of all, the qualifications that both of you have, really admirable, right? The idea that we want to continue the passion for a certain line of medicine that truly has tremendous benefits. Uh, just to continue that itself is it's a big boon, right, for the world and for ourselves in general. So the younger generation, should absolutely feel inspired to see the two of you continuing a certain passion, which absolutely comes with many logistical challenges, right? Moving to different countries, just getting into the thick of things and setting up shop in a different country, it takes a lot of effort. And the fact that both of you actually persevered that, continued to do, make sure you had additional qualifications, just, tremendously inspirational. So wonderful to hear both of you, just continue that drive and passion for both Ayurveda and homeopathy. So I'm
Thank you.
gonna maybe the first thing we talk about, for those who may be skeptical or those who are open-minded, both sides, right? One of the important things that I wanted to just touch on today is, we're in 2026, the age of AI at this point, right? We should all be very clear about what's probably going to happen in the next 2 years. Is going to be completely transformational with everything we've done in our past life, right? So in the age of AI, 2026, really futuristic state of affairs in general in all kinds of fields. Why do you think Ayurveda or homeopathy is relevant today, and how would you couch, the value of these holistic systems in this present day and age? So maybe we start with you, Dr. Anu, and then we go on to Dr. Kunita.
No problem. Yeah, so today's modern age of AI, Gemini, Alexa, I think it's a boon. It's a great scientific innovation and it empowers everyone to equally understand and learn about their healthcare systems. And it is actually, that's the best part of it. But it also comes with a lot of disadvantages. For example, one of the thing is this generation is into quick fixes and instant gratification. And that's one of the major disadvantage also, because it can open up a different pathway for them where they can end up in a wrong place at a wrong time. So in that respect, I think Ayurveda still amazes me that it has still stood the test of time and it is still there with the same timeless wisdom to offer to the present generation. So no wonder, more prominently, I would say, the preventive medicine aspect of Ayurveda is extremely beneficial, and the modern generation needs to tap into it and learn more and become more aware of this system of medicine. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, I totally agree. Dr. Kunita, what do you
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very relevant question, Madhvi, and Anu has answered it so fabulously. To be honest, in a fast-paced world, everyone, where I want to say every generation is moving so fast. At the same time, you throw AI in the mix, it is, I feel it's a two-edged sword. If you make use of it, it's a tool, but if you go blindly follow it, it can just, again, lead you in the wrong direction. And who better knows than we, who kind of put AI in practice. I say AI was there from first. There are systems like in homeopathy, we have a repertorization in the computer. You put in few symptoms and boom, you get the remedy. And therefore, really want to emphasize more on the pros but the cons of AI to those who utilize this and go on the internet and say, I have these symptoms, what homeopathic remedy will, and they will throw you some and they will give you descriptions. But be very, very careful. That does not replace your professional homeopath who has gone through the intense training of how to identify the remedy that will suit you. Again, I support AI. I feel people should use it as a tool, as a friend, to move things with speed, perhaps to fill any gaps or limitations they have, but not the source of truth, or not the source to replace a professional Ayurvedic doctor or practitioner or a professional homeopathic practitioner. And again, the understanding of both these remedies, both these therapeutic areas, that is homeopathy and Ayurveda, you need to understand what they give, right? So homeopathy focuses on highly individualized remedies based on a person's unique system profile that does not only consider physical ailments, but considers a lot of their emotions, their lifestyle changes, the environment, the culture that has changed them from birth. So perhaps you are living in India and you were given one remedy as a child. Now you come to the US and your environment, your culture, your thinking, your reactions have changed. That remedy will no longer be applicable. And so if you still rely on your on those remedies from before and do not continue homeopathy under a professional guidance and rely on AI, that might just put you a tad bit behind in your healthcare journey. So yes, I do feel it's a period where, despite AI, despite all the tools, there is high stress, there is burnout, and although these systems offer something many people feel is fast paced and easy, I can just go and buy that remedy or as such. I feel the more you know about homeopathy and even you know about Ayurveda, the more you realize how important it is to talk to professionals like ourselves, who, again, we are dedicated to this practice with passion. We are invested in your health, like Anu said previously, right? Even personally, like and you ladies must have known, as you did your practice, people would say doctors are the worst patients. We doctors never take care of ourselves. And Anu said it. No, she has this even in her personal life. What better passion than that to achieve and do Ayurveda and practice what you preach? Even myself, I've done homeopathy on me, on my daughters, and my family. We always, as doctors, feel like if we can see results, we want to give the same results. So I really challenge doctors are not the worst patients in today's DNA. But yeah, as much as I support AI, I would really caution all our listeners, patients, students, homeopaths alike, that make sure you are educating people about the greatness of these alternative therapies, and what they have to offer is beyond what AI can tell you uh, on the go.
Yeah, fascinating. Very interesting viewpoints. I had just a very quick comment. If you look at both systems, right? Basically, this is ancient wisdom. And we talk about artificial intelligence today, which is basically a summation of all knowledge in the universe spitting out, through a platform. But if you think about how these systems evolve, whether it's Ayurveda, 5,000 plus year old system, almost 300, correct me if I'm wrong here, Dr. Vinita, at least 300, year old homeopathic system. So these are ancient systems of treatment, which have an extremely high level of detail that is super relevant even today. Right? It's fascinating how 5,000 years ago, they knew, for example, Madhumeha, diabetes. They probably, I don't know how many people actually had diabetes, right? If you just look at it logically, even. But the
Right.
fact that we have documented evidence and specific practices that are completely relevant even today and
Right.
absolutely beneficial to people even today is just mind blowing, right? So the idea that somehow AI is going to replace this type of wisdom is kind of, absolutely not, right? Because a lot of things have come and gone, but this wisdom has stayed and
Yes.
continues to benefit people, right? Like I said, I myself, I have been, but I try to practice as much as I can on Ayurveda. I've been a recipient of homeopathic medicine. So it's just fascinating how these things holistically treat you, because what is most important for me, to your point about the fast-paced life where people just want an immediate fix, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I think a lot of times, just because of the lack of awareness, right? I think what we're doing today on the call also is to build some kind of awareness. That's the goal, right? Thinking about a quick fix, totally understandable if you're in pain, right? All of us, we're in pain. We don't want the pain. We want a quick fix. But I think a
Mhm.
lot of times what we fail to recognize is the symptom being manifested did not happen overnight, right? There
Yep.
has been a progressive change to your system that ultimately resulted in the manifestation of a symptom. So, if there's a progression that happened over a period of time, you got to figure out how you undo that progression to actually fix the issue, right?
Yep.
Because you definitely want to take a pill for pain, you should take it. No
Yep.
pain is no pain, no gain, as they say, right? You got to do it. But
Yep.
ultimately, you should also think about, what is it that actually is causing the manifestation of these symptoms, which is what both systems tremendously talk about, right? Dr. Kunita, to your point about the emotional aspect, very, very valuable, very pertinent. I have seen it myself, especially even when I was a kid. I was very acutely aware of this was a tremendous homeopath, in India.
Mhm.
He could read me like an open book. So
Mhm.
he knew exactly how I was feeling mentally and emotionally, and his medicines, they work like a miracle, right? I
Right.
think bottom line, at the end of the day, what I feel is, in the age of AI, this is even more relevant, especially given the pace at which things are moving. And one last tidbit about, AI and the use of AI, probably to the benefit of the alternative medicine, alternative forms of medicine, is we do have a lot of activity going on using AI to actually improve how this reaches, the masses, right? Ministry of Ayush has created portals. We have multiple things happening, especially in India, where people are using AI to develop additional platforms to benefit, the masses. So I think it can absolutely be used to our advantage, and very relevant points from both of you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Matthew, if I can plug in a humor here,
Yeah.
way long, we used to, I don't know if you guys still know, but we used to always feel like the prescriptions written by doctors are illegible, right? And
Yeah.
so I used to tell them that there's a reason. We don't want you to know what we are writing because you will not self medicate then. It's to protect you from yourself.
Very true.
And I so wanted back. I so wanted back because we tell you the prescription, you go and find through AI, and you're like, I'm not this emotional stuff, right? Or
Yeah.
this is not my remedy, and you go back. So I have always thought so much as to perhaps it was intentional that we were educated, or we were writing papers after papers that our handwriting went illegible. And so when it went into the prescription, it was a given that all doctors, because I've never heard any doctor to say his writing is very good.
No, you're absolutely
on
right.
average, on average. And I said that is interesting because that probably is intentional in all doctors, that we really, and again, to our listeners, knowledge is great, but trusting a professional who's dedicated 5, 10, 15 years of their time in really learning this art, and seeing cases after cases after cases, and to Anu, who's also educating in students, and she's getting also a different perspective from professors and colleagues. I feel the wealth of knowledge, or the concepts, or the treatment that we bring to people, just besides just self-medicating, is amazing. But it just reminded me why we write in a way that people can't read, but there's a reason for it.
Absolutely spot on. Excellent point, Dr. Gunita. Dr. Anu, did you want to add anything, or we can go to the next question otherwise?
Yeah, before you go to the next question, just wanted to say I write it down like this in my personal diary about Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a long lasting memory of how close human civilization was to nature.
Mm.
And that is what makes it timeless. So, no matter how many scientific innovations come in, go, it doesn't matter. It cannot touch this sacred part of Ayurveda, that the long lasting memory we have between us and the nature.
Yeah.
So in Ayurveda, we call Loka Purush, that is me and the nature around me. This connection is so divine and sacred, and that wisdom will never become outdated.
Yeah, you're absolutely 100%. That's an excellent point, right? I think there is a certain, even with any, as they call the patient physician relationship always being sacred. That's the word that's used, right, between patient and physician. And there is so much truth to that, right? For 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 a treatment or a healer to actually heal, there is a certain, element of otherworldly element for things to heal, and people believe in it. Ultimately, if something is very serious, many people resort to just praying, right?
Right.
Many people just resort to praying, but you're absolutely right, Dr. Anu. I think the ancient nature of the wisdom, and to your point, Dr. Kunita, about knowledge, like information does not equal knowledge, right?
Mm.
Having
Yes.
you can find anything today online, but having information at your fingertips does not equate you becoming, a professional, or does not equate, as they call, the Sanskrit word is jnana, right?
Yeah.
So wisdom or jnana doesn't happen by reading, a few words somewhere, right?
Right.
So excellent. Um, the next topic I wanted to touch on, so it becomes a little more practical, for our viewers, is there are many common conditions, right, across the globe. This is not, I think, limited to any particular region or country in general, but we see maybe on a seasonal basis, maybe we see much more prevalent in, certain parts of the world. There are certain conditions that I feel many people are kind of universally suffering from. what I'd like, both of you to do is maybe pick one or two such conditions and just talk in general. What is the reason why there is more prevalence? Like, let's say, for example, flu. I'm just using flu as an example, right? Flu is so much more prevalent. It didn't used to be that way before, right? So there are certain things that have probably happened within the environment or lifestyle. I just want to touch on maybe some practical, approach to some commonly seen conditions for both systems. Dr. Anu.
Yeah. So to start with, I would say a small verse in Sanskrit, because Ayurveda is written in Sanskrit. So it goes, Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam, aturasya vikara prashamanam. So what does this mean? Swasthasya swasthya rakshanam means Ayurveda's primary goal is to safeguard and maintain our optimum health. Aturasya vikara prashamanam. Secondary goal of Ayurveda is to treat or heal diseases. Now, the primary goal is called the preventative aspect of Ayurveda, which is wonderful. Diet counseling, lifestyle counseling, herbs, Ayurvedic body therapies, all those things which we um, give to our patients. That is the preventative aspect. This serves the primary goal. The goal is to safeguard and maintain our health. Now, the magical part is this primary goal actually serves the secondary goal. It actually addresses indirectly the secondary goal. So, what happens in conditions, for example, common cold? People like they might be taking Claritin or anti-allergic, herb drugs. Very commonly, you can see that. Ayurveda addresses the primary goal, that is the preventative aspect, starting with a simple remedy like warm water or going easy on certain kinds of foods, preparing a proper lifestyle plan for that person, what time to wake up, what to eat, how to move around, how to dress up, simple things. This indirectly increases their digestive power, or we say Agni in Ayurveda, and helps them combat common cold. So their common cold symptoms will start reducing over a period of week or 2 weeks without any drugs or any chemical drugs in their system. So the preventative aspect, that the primary goal is actually addressing the secondary goal. That's the magical part of Ayurveda. And that's how I educate my patients, that start doing certain things so that we can prevent it. And if at all the problem arrives, we can easily address it. So one of the conditions I gave is common cold, but similarly, we can use it in indigestion, acidity, a lot of gut issues, which is very prevalent nowadays, and musculoskeletal ailments also. Yeah.
I'm going to pause for just 1 second, folks, because there's somebody who's ringing the bell. Let me just pause for 1 second. I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, sure. Take your time.
Yeah. It's so, is this your house, Pidita?
Yes, it is. It is. It is my sunroom. Yeah. So
You have that, this thing in the top, right? In the ceiling, it opens up to the sun.
Well, actually, no. Actually, we have a door, a French door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's a like very bright room. Yeah.
Yes. I have my plants everywhere. I told Madhvi, maybe I'll go out in the backyard because it's so beautiful and we're talking about nature and alternate. But then when I went out, it was so bright. I couldn't find a spot where the lights would be on and stuff.
It's beautiful. You have decorated it so well.
So sweet.
Sorry,
Hoping one day we can come and meet in person here.
Yes. Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about
There
that.
you are. No worries.
Yeah.
You'll have to edit something out. I don't know if you paused the recording or not.
Let me see. No, we're still recording.
So you might have to edit.
Let me just pause. So that's super helpful, Dr. Anu, in terms of just explaining, how simple remedies, right? Within reach. There's no real complication with some of the remedies that Ayurveda actually provides. Very accessible, universally, available regardless of location to a large extent. right? So it's amazing, right? How common ailments can easily be fixed, from the root, essentially, with some simple changes to lifestyle. So that's really wonderful to, just hearing something like this, I know will give a lot of people comfort. Certainly it does give me comfort that there are things that you can do to actually change your life yourself. You don't have to always rely on, some um external, artificial synthetic
Mhm.
material, to help you, right? So,
Mhm.
Dr. Kunita, how about you?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Anu when they use Sanskrit word. I feel like I can listen to it all day, although I won't understand anything. But Sanskrit really is so calming in itself. So I liked what Dr. Anu said, and there was a common saying, as you probably all might have heard. You treat a common cold, it disappears in a week. You don't treat it, it goes away in 7 days.
Right.
Pick your choice. What does that mean? It means that really you do not need medications for something as a common cold. Uh, and to Anu's point, it's lifestyle changes, taking a warm water, how you get up, take care of your gut, and you don't need medications if you do it the right way. Even in modern medicine, you go to a pediatrician with for your child common cold, they will try and avoid to give you any deep medicines. They'll give you over the counter Claritin and anti-allergens and so on. And the right pediatrician would rather tell you don't do any of that, right? Just give the steam inhalation, change the diet, keep them hydrated. Fever is good, right? uh, but parents panic, we panic, and they want medications for the child to feel better. And medications have their conventional medications have their courses. They'll run for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. If you think about antibiotics, in fact, there is this uh, part in a concept in among Indian doctors, and I don't want to generalize it, nor am I claiming it, but empirical treatment with antibiotics is pretty common in India. So you go with the common cold, they'll put you on an amoxicillin. Even the kid, they'll put them on, on some sort of a azithromycin or something, which you have to take about for 5 or 7 days. Even if you don't do or run tests to see if it's infection, and antibiotics will have no effect if it's viral. But parents want to see. Now, this is mass treatment in India. The population is so huge, education is in there. Even if people are educated in the fast paced world, like we said, we want quick treatment. And we don't take a moment to say, can I rest for 2 days? My body's telling me to rest. I don't want to go to work, but my body's telling me to rest. But people ignore those. So that's what, to answer one of your questions, Anu, you said, why do people get affected with these? Why is it that we have so many people falling sick around flu season? And the standard answer anyone gives is your immunity is low. And why is the immunity low? Because you let it be. So certainly every therapy, I feel, even modern medicine tells you to focus on your lifestyle, your diet, your exercise. And we all know it. There's lots of these out there. But I think one key thing that Ayurveda brings in, and I respect that, is discipline, along with preventive, along with proactiveness, along with lifestyle. What Ayurveda forces you, if you really practice the principles, is the discipline. And so that's one thing I feel. If I am a promoter of Ayurveda, that is what I'll say. You want discipline, think Ayurveda. In now, of course, I practice homeopathy. I'm not a Ayurvedic professional like Anu. Uh, to give you homeopathic concept, homeopathic medicine, everyone thinks, and this is I would say it's misleading, it's a myth, that homeopathic medicines are meant for chronic conditions. So people will try everything else and then will come to homeopathy for treatment because everything else has failed. And therefore, our chronic condition patients that we see are usually skin conditions, psoriasis, eczema, treated for a long time, no effect. Hormonal imbalances for years on hormonal therapy, and they're having effects. So stress and anxiety, they're already on anti-anxiety medicine, anti-depression medicines, and then they come to us. Sleep disturbances, insomnia, and recurrent infections. Like, we do have people coming in for in UTI, but not in the acute stage. When they have it several times, then they come to us. So, but that's a misnomer. Why? Because homeopathy, like you had initially pointed out, is about 250 or 300 years back dated. But there was, it's not as rich as Ayurveda in terms of research back then. We probably have lesser remedies compared to conventional modern medicine, but there's a huge research going on. But to name it, we have about 3,000 plus remedies, and from that, we have to choose one on the concept of simila similibus curenter. This is German phrase, simila similibus curenter, because it was the founder of homeopathy was Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, a German MD and a chemist at the time. And what does that mean? It means like cures like. And
Hmm.
in other words, to put it into better perspective, is a remedy, or that can be, say, for example, a plant remedy. If you take that plant, just take it as you just eat it. And if that plant you eat continuously produces some sort of symptoms, that plant, for example, has the curative properties. So, just a little bit of story. Dr. Samuel Hahnemann was converting a different language book into, he was just translating books and languages in a huge library back when he decided to take a break from medicine. And he said, cinchona bark, he read it in the book, cinchona bark, that is also known as China, it's the bark of a tree, cures malaria because of its bitter taste. And he was confused with it because he's like, if I take everything and anything bitter, will I feel better? And will malaria get resolved? And that research led him to to finding homeopathy. He started taking cinchona bark constantly. He was healthy. He didn't have malaria. But as he continuously started taking it, he started proving it. And he started getting symptoms, the three classical stages of malaria: fever, chills, and sweat. And he stopped, they disappeared. He took again, they appeared. He stopped, and they disappeared. And that's when he wrote those classical words of simila similibus curenter, the foundation of homeopathic practice. And where am I going with this to answer your common conditions questions is simple. If acute cases like cold, flu-like symptoms, minor injuries, digestive complaints, these are the acute symptoms we insist people can still see us for, because we have those plant-based remedies or those other remedies. And again, I'm not just saying we have plant-based, we have animal-based remedies, metal-based remedies, but the medicinal properties, instead of taking the plant directly, we have converted them into medicine, and these are called as remedies. So, and again, basically, that remedy is good for you because it has the same symptoms of cold, same symptoms of flu. Again, given in the right remedy, if you go to a professional, homeopathy does cure. I would rather put that word cure and say does treat acute conditions. And you should consider, along with discipline, along with lifestyle changes, if you wish to take homeopathic medicines for acute conditions, they are helpful. And just to plug in, our clinic is now providing, so my clinic name is Homeopathy Health Hub. We provide first aid kits. So these first aid kits for common cold, even for flu. Our flu kit has influenzinum in it. It is a remedy highly recognized by World Health Organization that treats one of the several viruses that are listed, during the flu season. And so our flu remedy kit has three remedies in it: influenzinum, it has belladonna, and arnica. And all these three remedies have very well written research papers on them. So we do have first aid kits. We call them the first aid kits because these are in the right potency for you to self-medicate at home. You do it for 3 days and then you're like, I don't feel well. Then you need to sort a professional. So we do say you can, and why not? We want to empower you with your own health, but in the right way. but in the right way. So, yes, I want to say for acute remedies, we provide acute flu kits, we provide chronic conditions, chronic remedy kits. We work with families. Most importantly, which I did not say, we also treat pets. And we have several of our families bring in their puppies, their cats, their dogs, their hair, and they're like, can you treat them? Even a goldfish, we've treated even a goldfish. uh, and the reason I say this, because some I've seen these people with pets, and they just adore them. They feel their family. They're so emotionally tied to them. And homeopathy, although has does not have animal proving, homeopathy research has never included it's human proving. So homeopathic remedies are approved for human proving only. So that's another awareness fact, that these remedies are not tried on animals. They're humanly proved, but animals have emotions, animals react, and I've seen results. Therefore, if you go on my website, there is on the home page, there is a video of homeopathy or animals to educate you all. The video says 1,000 words more than I can say, but I did want to say that, because so many of my patients love bringing their pets and say, can you take care? It seems they have thyroid, or take care, it seems they have had a fracture and so on. So we do give homeopathic medicine for them. So yeah, no, I know I said it took a little longer time, but I wanted to make these important notes and say complementary medicines, Ayurveda and homeopathy, um, they work because when they are integrated together, when they integrated thoughtfully, um, they give results, not only preventive long term, but they really instill that discipline in you. And so, yeah, that's my answer.
No, that's amazing, right? From both of you, I think this is really very valuable information. And what I take from it is, absolutely should be the first line of defense, right?
Yes.
It shouldn't be the last.
Yeah.
It should absolutely not be the last option that people, look for, because many of the conditions actually can be, again, the more you delay, the more chronic any condition gets, right? So I think using alternative forms of medicine as the first line of defense, absolutely, I think is much more valuable, much more meaningful. I'll also share a tidbit, a funny incident. Your comment, Dr. Sunita, about antibiotics, right? And the abuse of antibiotics. I think it's prevalent in many parts of the world, including the US. In India, back when I was actually, working at the Osmania Hospital in Hyderabad, there used to be just two injections. Everybody who came through the door would automatically be asked, "Do you want A or do you want B?" Right? You would either get a B or a multivitamin shot,
Mhm.
or the other one was an antibiotic. And people had no idea what it is that they wanted, right? They would just get one or the other. And I think a lot of the antibiotic abuse, it happens. Definitely, I think even in the US, there is very prevalent use of antibiotics, including the complications of, antibiotic resistance, which is much more higher in the US than in other parts of the world, right? What is very interesting is most recently, Modi actually talked about this.
Mm.
Modi has specifically talked about antibiotic abuse and it being addressed, in the medical community in India. So there's definitely awareness that has, been built, which is great, right? Because
Yes.
nobody should be taking an antibiotic unless it actually will help. Many times it doesn't even help, right? If you have a viral condition, an antibiotic is not going to help. But
Right.
point, it's more about mental peace of mind, right? Or my kid needs something, or I need something, and it maybe makes me. It's more of a placebo, and probably worst form of placebo, in my opinion, because
Right.
it does destroy your gut, for a few days,
Mm.
right? So not really ideal, but very interesting to hear about the different types of remedies. Fascinated to hear about pets. It's amazing that you're even treating a goldfish is just fantastic, right?
Yeah, Madhvi, just happened. It happened during COVID. Someone came knocking to my door and said they had written this. They read this article written by a Canadian homeopath on Natrimu for thyroid. and they're like, I'm searching for homeopaths who will treat my cat buddy. The vets are giving up, and they're saying he doesn't have thyroid, but he has all thyroid like symptoms. I don't trust them. And I kind of calmed the lady down, and I'm like, okay, homeopathy works on pets. All right, it does work on pets. Why don't we give it a try? All right. And then we looked at buddy, we kind of looked at what the vet has stated, and we started Natramure, and we started some other medicines after we took his case, and he seems to be doing very well. They were very thankful. And it's not that he had to be on homeopathy for long. It was 3 months. We kind of follow up, medicines, and then we followed up, and he's fine. And then it's like, whenever you want to come back, you come back. So and that led me to research which homeopaths do treat pets, and what does the homeopathic faculty has and what the homeopathic faculty has to offer. My battery's running low. Let me go in and plug it, guys.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
just
No worries, take
take
your
a
time.
minute.
I think
Yeah.
what we can do is, I know we're almost at the top of the hour here. Dr.
Yeah.
Hanu, we can go to you. What I would like to close with is definitely share with our community, about your practice, how to reach you, what is it that you offer, everything that you can share about your practice would be amazing. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so right now I'm practicing in San Jose, California, and it's a home clinic. And my website is Back to Basics. Um, I have to, you have to edit that part
Yeah.
because I'm working on the website. So it is mycanva.site. It's still not there out yet. And yeah, you can call me. My email ID is dranu.anand@gmail.com.
Mhm.
And my phone number is 408-564-1197. So I'm approachable through email as well as through phone. We can make an appointment.
Wonderful. Any timings that you'd like to share? What timings are your, yeah.
My initial consults and my follow-up consults via telehealth as well as in person at my home clinic.
Okay, wonderful. We can share your website and contact information.
Yeah, I will update the website part. Maybe I don't know how you're going to do this.
Email. So what I can do is share your email and phone number, right? So we can
Yes.
have it
Yeah.
available for
Okay.
the community. Yeah, wonderful. Dr. Kunita,
Yeah, sorry about
are you
that.
back? Yeah.
Yes, about my clinic, absolutely. Like I said, I've been practicing homeopathy wherever I traveled. I've traveled a couple of cities. Finally, we are rooted in California, and last year we launched an online 24/7 homeopathic clinic on a global platform. The clinic name is Homeopathy Health Hub. It is intentional. It's a hub. It's a place for your family, parents, grandparents, children, pets, neighbors, and all. And we strongly, if you go on the website, we say healthcare is a choice. And we strongly want to promote that because you have a choice. Over 80% or more of people visiting the ER in the United States do not require to visit an ER. Their conditions can be treated by alternative medicines. The two huge alternative complementary medicines you got aware of today, Ayurveda and homeopathy, can be the ones. So not every emergency is a 911 emergency or is an emergency you need to go to the ER. So make sure you understand both these therapies, and at the same time, what can you say as first aid kits. So like I said, we are an online platform, 24/7 available, multi-language support. We have homeopaths online. You can do an acute consult for as low as $30, and 15 to 30 minutes acute consult on chat, on call, on WhatsApp. Number is listed on the website as well, and the chat feature is on website as well, and it is called Homeo Now. As soon as you log onto the website, you can enter the chat, and a homeopath online will directly, and these are all practitioners, homeopaths who have their degrees and are qualified professionals. Again, 24/7 consult. You can also purchase remedies. We dispense them. We have also listed, if you're not in the US, you're not in California, we can send you remedies anywhere in the US and Canada through our pharmacy. So we are associated with several pharmacies. All you need is a prescription from doctors who are on our platform, and that prescription will be delivered to your place. But if you are not in the US, we also will list global pharmacies throughout the world, anywhere near to you. So look out for that feature. Um, Most importantly, I did say online. So we believe comfort is given from your home, from your office, from your car if you want to consult us. Remember, we are homeopathic practitioners in the US. We do not give you a diagnosis. We are not here licensed to examine you. It's very important, and this is something we make you sign as a waiver in the consent form. We are here for acute alternative or chronic alternative complementary medicines. So your primary care diagnosis does stand, but to help you, we do have lab tests. So if you go on the website, click on labs. If you are not satisfied with your primary doctor who said you do not need this lab test, but you feel for your health, you want that lab test, you can order it from our website and you will get a discount as soon as you go in. You will get that discount on that lab test discount promo code, and that's great because you're going through our website, you are getting that discount. This is something I specifically made because I understand several Indian patients come to me and say, I want to do this test because my doctor in India has asked me to do so, but how do I do it? Because my primary I don't have insurance, or my parents are here, they don't have insurance. I have used this lab test for my own in-laws and parents, and it is not that expensive at all. If you can spend $50 on your lunch outside, you can certainly spend 25 to $30 on a lab test. So it's really affordable, and I try to make it affordable. Lastly, but not the least, we have even an annual holistic package available. It may seem a tad bit expensive, but you get a lot of features, from chronic consultation to medicines refills to even your first aid kits. So I can go on and take all of Madhvi's time, but do visit our website. It's called Homeopathy, spelled as homeopathyhealthhub.com. And certainly Madhvi will provide the details. But again, we are here, we are for you. And I hope to hear from some of you.
Yeah, wonderful. In
Can I answer this part of this question again? Just
yeah,
in
of course. Go ahead. Yeah,
I think I didn't do it well that time. So my practice is in San Jose, California, and my website is Back to Basics. Again, back is BAK, not BACK. Back to basics.my.canva.site. My email address is dranu.anand@gmail.com. And my phone number is 408-564-1197. And you can directly email me, set up an in-person appointment in my home clinic, or we can also do a telehealth consult. And I'm usually available in the weekends. And what my practice comprises is, usually it starts with an initial consult, which is 1.5 hours long. And in that will be a case history. We will go over the entire case intake. And at the end of that, we will be giving you a dietary chart, which will be like a diet counseling and a lifestyle counseling. We start from that point, and in the follow-up visits, we will add on to some herbal therapies and Ayurvedic body therapies. That's it.
Nice.
wonderful.
Nice.
Wonderful. I'm gonna close with just a couple of things, right? One is the goal of our discussion is really to help raise awareness about the fantastic opportunity to actually gain from alternative forms of medicine. Every form of medicine has its own place, right? None of us are here to say that modern medicine doesn't work or anything like that at all. I think modern medicine has its place, allopathy has its place, homeopathy has its place, Ayurveda has its place. And each of them act as complementary medication, to each other. I think the whole point is to have a holistic approach to individual health. The concept of personalized medicine seems like a new concept, right? But if you look at the ancient systems, that was always the case. No two patients with the same condition will be given medication in homeopathy or in Ayurveda.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
ancient wisdom already captured these basic, what concepts seem like, I mean, to us, they seem very basic, right? Personalized medicine is not a new concept. It
Yeah.
actually is one of the most ancient, concepts with which medicine or the science of medicine was even started, right? So fascinating discussion. Really wonderful to have both of you, Dr. Anu, Dr. Kunita. Thank you so much for
Yes.
taking the time. We do hope that this has benefited the community, and we will continue the discussions. We will have more specific discussions potentially on a specific disease state. Obviously, as we all are aware, this is not any kind of medical advice that we are giving on the channel. What we are trying to do is raise awareness, build
Yes.
education, around holistic forms of medicine, which truly benefit an individual, inside out. Right. Once again, thank you to both of you. It's been a wonderful, discussion. I really appreciate your time. Hopefully, we'll continue the discussion and have the next session sometime soon. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you both. Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me stop. Okay.